In this next fake news article from Fake News Week, black looter mob protesters accost black civil rights activist Vernon Jones, telling him you're a effing disgrace. Georgia State Representative and civil rights activist Vernon Jones was accosted by black looter mob rioters on Thursday in Washington, D.C., while walking to his hotel after attending the Republican National Convention at the White House. So they say Black Lives Matter, but in reality, Black lives only matter to them if you are a Democrat, if you are a Republican, you are a far-right fascist neo-Nazi to them. They want you dead. They don't give a fuck about you. They want to fire you from work. They don't care about you. They hate you. You're detestable to them. Let's watch the video. I'm going to fact check him here as he was running from the police after he was tasered because he had a knife in his hand, and then he was attempting to flee the scene and engage in a high-speed chase with the police. And this is why the police shot him. It was a woman who shot him. And that's because Jacob Blake was a threat. He posed a threat to the general public, a substantial threat that required putting him in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. If you don't like that, next time the police give you a legal order, you should follow it. I personally think we should legalize drugs so that we don't have to deal with most of the crime. But knowing the backstory of how this scumbag Jacob Blake worked, he was not a good person, that his girlfriend called the police because he had raped and beat her before. He wasn't allowed to be there. He had a warrant out for his arrest for raping and beating his girlfriend. And that he had stolen her keys, wouldn't let them leave, and then he was menacing them with a knife. And the police came, and they tasered him, and they tried to wrestle him down to the ground. And then he ran into the car with holding the knife in his hand. You can see it on the video. Just for somebody, all the people who are new, who missed the first part of the show where we showed you that he did actually have a knife. Look in his hand, you can see a knife. Very clearly, it is a knife. So he is not an unarmed black man who was killed by a white police officer. He was an armed man who was killed by a female police officer, who he posed a significant threat to her and the general public and the children in the car. This is a lot different than the narrative that they want to paint you. That's because it's the fake news industrial complex, or FNIC. FNIC is the biggest enemy of democracy. This is just some bullshit, dude. They like crank that shit out all day. Can't give them too much air. They will suck the oxygen out of the room.